On the brain, world is gone insane. Things are starting to get heavy. I can't help but think I haven't felt this way since I asked you to go steady. Wondering, would you be my little quarantine, or is this the way it ends? 'Cause I told you the level of concern, but you walk by like you never heard. You could bring down my level of concern. Just need you to tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. Panic on the brain, Michael's gone insane. Julie starts to make me nervous. I don't really care what they would say. I'm asking you to stay. My bunker underneath the surface. Wondering, would you be my little quarantine, or is this the way it ends? 'Cause I told you my level of concern, that you won't. Level of concern, just need you to tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. Yeah, tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. Yeah, tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. Bring down my level of concern, just need you to tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. Yeah. 'Cause I told you a level of concern, but you walk by like you never heard. You could bring down my level of concern. Just need you to tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. Need you. Need you to tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. Need you to tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. Need you now. Need you now. 'Cause I told you a level of concern, that you won't find like you never heard. And you could bring down my level of concern. Just need you to tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. Yeah, tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. Yeah, tell me we're alright, tell me we're okay. You could bring down my. Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. It's Monday. I'm going to be going over the CovrPrice top 20 list. This came out on Friday. So some of these will be books that have been hot for several weeks. I know a couple of them were on the CBSI Hot 10 list. So some of it may seem repetitive, but I'll go over that. And I want to recognize people in the chat. Cardstock variant. He says, any ideas on Daredevil 610? Second print just exploded. Yeah, that's the first appearance of the Vigil. And that second print, he's on the cover. And I know the print run on that is really, really low. I'm going to say maybe 2,000-3,000 print runs. So it's, you know, it's got a lot going for it. First appearance of a potentially a major villain in the Daredevil run. Basically, he's in that issue. I think he might be in issue 611 briefly, but yeah, they don't really go into his character much, the Vigil. We don't know much about him. There's no backstory. There's no origin on him yet. He's a badass looking character, and that cover is awesome, no doubt about it. It's fire. I did grab one. I'm gonna say 6 months ago. I think I bought one off eBay for like 15 or 20 bucks, something like that. 15 bucks maybe. That was definitely a book that would be tough to have found at an LCS. Midtown might have had it on there briefly. I mean, I think it was one of those books that just sold out very, very quickly online. So I don't know if anybody was smart enough to grab multiple copies of that book. Brilliant move. I have one copy for the PC, but yeah, by the time I bought that one copy, it was $15-$20 book already.
So yeah, it's crazy to see that book explode. But that'll be on. I'd imagine by the end of this week, that'll be on a lot of hot 10 lists. There'll be a lot of YouTubers talking about it. So let's see if you can catch that one. Let's see here. Flooper Moop says, "Hey Justice, congrats! You are now a comic book market mover. Your mention of Kill Lock #2 lit a fire under that book. It showed up on the CovrPrice daily hot list 2 days after you mentioned it." There you go. Yeah, I mean that. I just noticed that book was just. Clock is a really underrated series. It's very, very good. The artwork is amazing. The story is good. I can absolutely see that being developed into an animated cartoon or something. It makes no sense to do live action because it's all robots, but definitely some kind of animated, animation to the style like Into the Spider-Verse, right? That kind of animation. And Livio Ramondelli, I mean, he's fantastic at art design. Hell, he could probably do all the animation. He's fantastic. So yeah, thank you very much, Flooper. I appreciate you mentioning that. Once in a while, I get something right. It does. I have seen a couple sales on eBay lately around that $20 mark, which I don't know if there's any for sale. We'll have to check and see if there's any listings, but yeah, we'll find out. All right, let's see here. Let's jump into the CovrPrice top 20 list. Pull up my email real quick. This was sent to me on last Friday, which is usually very early. I don't usually get their emails until Sunday. So I think they are coming up with like a new format. It's a great list. I highly recommend to make sure you're subscribed to CovrPrice to get their weekly emails. I use them. I load my entire collection into their database. You can load in graded books, raw books. It does assign a value. So unlike CLZ and some of the database apps that you can use to keep track of your comic book collection, CovrPrice will also be like a price guide. It will kind of price your collection, and it's relatively accurate. I mean, it's just as accurate as having a price guide or a. I mean, yeah, I remember the old dealers had the big old thick Overstreet, right, price guide, and way more than price guide just because of scarcity. But for the most part, it's pretty accurate. I mean, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where a YouTuber will pick out like 25 or 30 random comic books, and they'll use Overstreet price guide, and they'll compare it to eBay sales, and it's pretty damn accurate. You wouldn't think so. You think eBay would be, in most cases, it's pretty similar. Now, there's always that hot book that explodes in the last week or two that, of course, a printed price guide is not going to be up to date on that kind of thing. So, eBay is definitely, in my opinion, the price guide. That's kind of why, I remember Wizard magazines back in the day, those were monthly price guides, and it's just, eBay just made those things obsolete very quickly. So CovrPrice uses auctions, it uses eBay for getting pricing, it uses online auctions like Heritage, things like that, to determine pricing. So it's a great website. Highly recommend it. So let's jump into it. We'll start off with the top 10, then we'll go through 11 through 20. Actually, no, let's start out at 20, actually. Let me go all the way down to the list here. Number 20 on the list. Let's make sure my stream is still going well. Oh, I haven't shared my screen. Hold on a second. Technical difficulties. Forgot to do that real quick here. All right, let me just blow up my screen a tad. There we go. All right. There we go. Number 20 on the list is New Mutants #1 from 1983. Yeah, I know there's been a poster. There's a movie coming. They've somewhat promoted it, but I don't think there's been any release date yet. I don't know. I think they've finished filming it, haven't they? I mean, I believe they've filmed it already. I just don't know when the release is on this. But a 9.8 just sold for $93. That's up 122%. So there's a little bit of action on New Mutants #1. Now, remember, New Mutants #1 is not the first appearance of the New Mutants. You'd have to go to the graphic novel from I think it came out in late 1982. But it is their first ongoing issue and definitely has some significance to it. And I would say all those characters are second appearances are in New Mutants #1. So it's definitely an important book to have. I do have one of those in my collection. Actually, I didn't even pay for it. I bought some comic books from somebody online, and they threw an Alpha Flight #1 and a New Mutants #1, and they're both super high grade. That was pretty interesting. Got that a couple years ago. Number 19 on the list is Star Wars #2 from 1977. I do have this in my collection. I remember I don't have #1 or any of the early issues, but I do have #2. I bought it a long time ago, and it's high mid grade. I think I paid like $20 for it. I'll have to pull it out again and take a look at it. It's in pretty good shape. But a lot of those Star Wars books from the 70s are hard to find in high grade. A lot of kids bought those books, and they were read a lot. They were definitely manhandled. So finding early copies of that Star Wars run in 77 is definitely hard to find in high grade. But I agree here with the comment that it's always been undervalued. First appearance of Han Solo in comic books. I think it's first appearance of Chewbacca. Yeah, it's definitely a key issue if you're a Star Wars comic book collector. And a 9.0 just sold for $75 this week. That still seems pretty cheap for pretty high grade. Again, it's hard to find those early those early Star Wars issues in high grade. They had black covers. Just most of the people that bought the Star Wars comic books were Star Wars kids that were into this action figures, things like that. So they're hard to find in high grade. At least that's been my experience. So that's number 19 on the list. Number 18 is Amazing Spider-Man 210. I think this is the first appearance of Madam Web. There's been some heat on this. This was on CBSI's Hot 10 list a week or so ago. Yeah, high grade, a CGC, $550 for a 9.8. Wow, that's crazy money. I have one in high grade. I don't know if it would grade at a 9.8, but it definitely would grade, in my opinion, 9.4 to 9.6. So I do have a really nice copy. I bought it. Yeah, I'd say I bought it over a year ago. I think I paid like $30 or $40 for it. I didn't pay much. So man, I'm glad I bought that. It's a cool cover too. It's a great looking book. And it's good to see some love on this. So it says here, a secret Marvel movie from Sony in the works with director S.J. Clarkson. And Madam Web is reportedly possibly going to be the antagonist in the movie. Yeah, so it's speculation at this point. It hasn't been confirmed, but it's definitely putting some price movement on that book. Apparently, that must be a hard book to find in high grade. 9.8 for $550. That's crazy money. So anybody that's got that at graded in 9.8, man, you should be very, very happy right now. Number 17 is Nova #1 from 1976. This has been on these Hot 10 lists, Hot 20 lists for a long time, probably for the last year or so, with Guardians of the Galaxy, supposedly an appearance by Nova. That remains to be seen. I don't know, but the rumors continue to build on this, and high grade copies of Nova #1 are definitely difficult for sure. 9.8 just sold. CBCS just sold for $780. up 76%. So that's a good book to see if you can find in super high grade. Number 16 is Star Wars Adventures Clone Wars #1, the 1 in 10 charm variant. This a couple weeks ago, up to $30, up 135% for a raw copy. Number 15 is Ultimate X-Men #1. Yeah, I have most of the Ultimate X-Men run. It is a nice card stock, but I don't know. Marvel, all the ones I've seen have just been, usually the corners are damaged. So getting a high grade is a little tough on that one. But it's nice to see that book moving. I did like that Ultimate Universe series. The X-Men and Spider-Man were my favorite. Just some great books. I've got 50 bagged and boarded, sitting in my closet. So it's nice to see this book on the move. Hit a high sale on a 9.6 of $51. So there's a little bit of love on Ultimate X-Men series from 2001. And it's hard to believe that's 19 years ago when that book came out. Crazy. Number 14 is Fantastic Four #50. Classic battle between Silver Surfer and Galactus. Obviously, everybody always looks for issue 48 and 49. So it's nice to see 50s getting a little attention and love here. An 8.0 just sold for $1,000. So that's the issue where the Silver Surfer defies Galactus and decides to help the Fantastic Four save Earth. So that is definitely a key issue. Number 13 is Star Wars Adventure Clone Wars #1. Again, this is not the 1 in 10 variant, but just the regular cover. Hitting a high of $15. So that book's definitely been hot lately. Number 12 is Moon Knight #1 from 1980, first of that ongoing series. 9.8 just sold for $345. It's a cool book. Don't have that in my collection, unfortunately, but that is definitely a good one to have. Number 11 is Wolverine #1 from 1988. A new ongoing series for Wolverine. 9.8 just sold for $195. So that book's been undervalued for a long time. I've mentioned it on my channel many times, and it's good to see that that's getting some attention finally. Last 7-day trend up 226%, 13 copies sold, a high of 195 for a 9.8. So that book is on fire lately. And so let's move to number 10 on the list. Before I do, let me check back into the chat. See who else has joined us. Yeah, I mentioned Daredevil #2, second print. I just bought that one. Man, that was tough to find. It took me a couple weeks to get that. That's the Mark Cicchetto second print variant that has Detective North. It shows him like he just clocked out Wolverine, or not Wolverine, Daredevil. Daredevil's on the floor. Cole North is standing over him. It's a pretty cool cover. Yeah, I think I paid $30 for that, and there was only one listing on eBay, and I was lucky to find it. I don't know if there's any listings now, but I could see that being like a $50 to $60 book easily. There's just hardly any for sale. So that book seems to be a ghost, no doubt about it. Flooper says, maybe I can give you a list of my books. You can talk about them and heat them up. I sell them on eBay and we split the proceeds. There. Yeah, I wish my channel had that much influence, but yeah. 720 subscribers. Yeah, I don't think my channel has that kind of influence. Comic Tom and Nick from Key Collector, they definitely influence the market. Jim's Comics definitely can influence the secondary market. You know, they got thousands of subscribers. Yeah. I'm not going to move the needle much with my channel. No doubt about it. Red Mato says they're about 79 to 120 for the Daredevil. Wow. I'm assuming you're talking about Daredevil 610. Yeah, I'll have to go look on eBay in a minute. Maybe when I'm done with this list, I'll jump over to eBay and just see what's been moving lately on some of those books. Like Warren Buffett, I wish. Don't I wish? So the second print of 610 has a 642 print run. Wow, I didn't know it was that low. That is super low. Yeah. I remember, so I guess that was a good $20 investment, right? I mean, I know I paid like $20 for it probably 6 months ago. But yeah, that book's awesome. That's low print run. I didn't know it was that low. That's super low. That's like store variant low. August 28th release date for New Mutant movie. Thank you, Sean. I did not know that. Neither did CovrPrice apparently. So that movie is scheduled to come out in August. Cool. So that might be some good speculation. Pick up some of those New Mutant issues, some of the key issues in that New Mutant run. There's Legion. I know I've got the first appearance of Legion in that run. That's a good book to pick up. I think there's issue 17 is like the first Shadow Bear. I mean, there's some really good books in that run that you can pick up. That graphic novel from the black cover, the first first true appearance of New Mutants. That is a tough book to find at high grade. If you find a graded copy above 9.0, you expect to pay some serious money for that. That book is expensive. Maybe we'll look that up on eBay too when I get done with the list. We'll see what that's going for. All right. Sean says, I picked up an Ultimate X-Men just in case. You're right. Hard to find in high grade. Yeah, that issue number 1, I don't know why. Most of the ones I've looked at, even my copy is not great. I think it's probably like a 9.2 to 9.4 at best. Even though it is a thick cardstock paper that they used, I don't know why, but it's like, it seems like all the binding corners are all screwed up. I don't know. It seems like that's a tough book to get in high grade. The other one I love from that run is Ultimate X-Men number 75. It's got a really awesome cover by Michael Turner. I love that cover. It's got Kate Cable. It's like one of the best covers. I got a couple copies of that because I just love that cover. And it's not an expensive book. I think you can buy it on eBay for like $10. It's not expensive, but it's an awesome cover by Michael Turner. The print run, yeah, I think I have most of the print run. I think I've got 1 through 50. No, I got 1 through 50 straight, and then I've got copies all the way up to 100. I think they ended that series at 100. I'll have to check, but I think that series went to issue 100, and then they canceled it. Yeah, so DD 610 second print, only 642 print run. That's super low. All right, let's get back to the list here, guys, and then we'll check out eBay and just see what things are going for. Number 10 is Ultimate Fallout number 4. That's been a hot book. You'd have to be living under a rock not to know that. First appearance of Miles Morales. 9.8 just sold on May 25th for almost $700. Unbelievable. And that's one I wish I had bought a bunch of copies of. I remember I bought my copy for like $40 raw. It's in high grade, but I don't know if it would grade at a 9.8, but I remember people selling multiple copies of that book online for like $25, $30, polybagged. Yeah. Whoever had the foresight to buy a bunch of those, good on you, man. You did well. That book is absolutely hot. So if I had like 20 of those things, I would get them all pressed, get them all graded. Hell, if half of them came back 9.8, think about that kind of money. That'd be crazy, crazy money. So yeah, that's awesome to see that move. Number 9, Darth Vader. Number 3, first appearance of Dr. Alphra. She's got her own series now. Definitely been one of the hotter Star Wars characters. 9.8 just looks like a 9.8 just sold for $225, up 116%. Everything Star Wars lately has been on fire. So if you've been faithfully collecting Star Wars in the last couple of years, where not much has happened, definitely you're being paid off now. So everyone that did that, congratulations. I do have that book in my collection. I think I bought that entire Darth Vader run from 2005 on that. Number 8 is ASM 550. I guess this is what, first appearance of Menace, Lily Hollister. So I don't know if she's going to be associated maybe with this Jackpot movie by Sony. But that book is on fire. High sale of $26 for a near mint minus. That might be a good book to find in a back issue, Ben. You might be able to find that. I don't think I have that in my collection, but that should be a good one. Number 7 is ASM number 4. First appearance of Silk. Definitely a marquee book. I picked up a copy last year around $40. And looks like it's selling for around $100 now. 9.8 selling for about $150. Print run on that was fairly low. I don't think it was a huge print run on that. Definitely a good book to have in your collection. Silk is going to likely be in the next Spider-Verse movie. I think that's pretty much a given at this point. Number 6 is Amazing Spider-Man Free Comic Book Day 2007 Swing Shift number 1 Director's Cut. Man, I never even heard of this book. I have no idea if there's a lot of those out there in the market, but $22 for a raw comic book sale, up 381%. So this sounds like a book that was selling around cover price, maybe just a couple dollars, now going for $22. That's a big move. Number 5 is Web of Spider-Man 99. I think that's the first full appearance of Nightwatch. I believe I've got 97, which is the first appearance of Kevin Trench, which is going for about $10 raw. And it looks like a CGC 9.8 just sold for $112 on Web of Spider-Man 99. Yeah, so that late run of Web of Spider-Man might be a good one to look for. Definitely search for that on a comic lot. So don't just try to buy individual issues. If you look under, type in on eBay, Web of Spider-Man comic lot, you might be able to get those issues a lot cheaper through buying a run of Web of Spider-Man. That might be the way to do it. Number 4 is Free Comic Book Day Amazing Spider-Man number 1 Swing Shift. This is not the director's cut. This is the regular issue Free Comic Book Day. Free comic book selling for $50. Man, you can't beat that return, right? So anybody that had the foresight to buy that and hold on to it, that's awesome. That was one I missed. I don't have that one, but man, it's selling for $50 right now. Number 3 is Jackpot number 1. So this is a mini-series, a little one-shot thing. Amazing Spider-Man Presents Jackpot number 1 from 2010. Not a first appearance or anything like that. Just cool cover. And yeah, there's people that would probably buy that right now. Selling for about $17. That's on the move. Number 2 is Symbiote Spider-Man number 4, the Greg Land second print. That's got the Mysterio on the cover. That's been a hot book lately. Raws are selling around $150. Graded copies even more. So if you find that one, even low-grade copies are selling $20, $30 in those Walmart packs. So apparently, well, Walmart seals those things. They're probably, usually most of them are damaged, I'm sure. But check out your local Walmart. Maybe you can get lucky and find one. All right, and number 1, last but not least, is Amazing Spider-Man 546. This is the first appearance of the second version of Jackpot, Elena Jacobson. I do have that book in my collection. It's also the first appearance of Mr. Negative. So you get kind of a couple key aspects to this book. That's definitely driving the price. Raw copies hitting $55. I bought one maybe 3 months ago for $10. So yeah, it's good to see that one on the move. 9.6 just sold for $70. I don't know if there's any 9.8s for sale, but that's definitely the top book right now based on movie news. Now let's jump over to eBay. So 610, let's type in second print. Let's see what shows up. All right, buy it now for 90. Here's an 8.0 for 50. Another one for 70. Another one for 80. Now there's a lot for sale now. For the longest time, there would be maybe one or two copies for sale around that $20 to $30 range. Another one for 105. There's an auction. Yeah, it's definitely a cool book to see on the move because I'm not the only one that's been talking about this book. Jim's Comics had been mentioning this book for the longest time, saying buy it. It's a low print run, and it's good to see that it's getting attention now. It deserves it. It's a cool looking book. It's an awesome looking cover. He's on the cover. It's a low print run. That book definitely demands the money that it's getting. So if you got one of those in your collection, man, there's somebody asking $200 for it. Wow. There's a 9.8 asking $500. Holy crap. That's pretty cool. That's amazing. Unbelievable. I'm telling you, there's a thirst for speculation right now. There's so many people wanting to buy books right now because there haven't been new comic books for a while. So there's a lot of what's called pent-up demand, right? So that is a cool book to have. If you got that in your collection, congratulations. Let's look up that Daredevil #2 second print. See if anything shows up. Keep showing the Vigil second print, but I don't see one with Cole North. Any for sale. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be on a hot 10 list soon, I bet. First appearance of Detective Cole North. He's kind of like a Jim Gordon to Batman, right? He's kind of like that type of character. He's going to work well with Daredevil, kind of like Jim Gordon does with Batman. And yeah, I don't see any for sale. Maybe if I search under, if I type in Cole North, maybe it'll show up. Sometimes you got to search different ways to see stuff. No, there's none. I mean, there's a regular #2 for $7 plus shipping. Yeah, there's none for sale. See, I'm telling you, that book is a ghost. I finally found one for $30 and bought it right away. Didn't care what the price was. It's just there was only one. I only found one for sale in the last 2-3 weeks that I was looking. So man, keep an eye out for that book. Put that as a saved in your favorites for eBay, and also check your local comic book shops, see if they have that. Even if they're asking 40 or 50, oh, there's one right there. Okay, there's a 9.8 for $85. Wow. I'm telling you, if you guys don't have this book, I'm tempted to buy that, to be honest. I don't have, mine's not graded. I have a raw copy. It's pretty high, it's probably high grade, but man, that's probably worth buying, $85. I think that book has a potential to be a $400 or $500 book. I'm calling it right now on this channel, Monday, June 1st. That's an official record. I think Daredevil #2 second print with Cole North on the cover. That book, print run is super low as well on that book. I think that book could be a $400 or $500 book. And I don't know why I'm not buying it right now. I should. A 9.8 for $85 seems very reasonable to me. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Should I buy one? Should I put my money where my mouth is? So it's going to cost me $100 right here. Boom, done. I just bought it. So there you get to see a live stream of me buying a comic book. I just bought it because I have conviction in that book. I think that that's going to be a $400 to $500 book in high grade. And I just pulled the trigger and bought it. It's mine. I paid $100. It's $85 plus $15 shipping. And as far as I can tell, that was the only one on eBay. Let's see if I'm right. I know that was a little impulsive. See, I'm just like everybody else. I'm a impulsive comic book buyer at times. So I just bought that graded copy for $85, and I don't see any other copies. That was the only one for sale. Was a graded CGC 9.8 for $85. So I hope to do a video in about a month, maybe a few weeks, where I'm highlighting that purchase, and now it's asking, people will be asking $400 or $500 for it. Wouldn't that be cool? Hey, anything's possible. It is a first appearance of a character that I think is going to be pretty meaningful in the mythos of Daredevil going forward. So there we are. So Flooper agrees with me. Bargain. Hey, I just made a $400 profit. Hey, I put my money where my mouth is. If I think something is going to move, man, I will buy it. And yeah, maybe it is a little impulsive, but there was only one copy on eBay. You guys just saw it. I just pulled up the listing. In fact, that didn't even come up until I typed in Cole North. So I don't know how many of those are out there in the wild, but I don't know. Cameron D says, yeah, we all love impulsive buying. Yeah, that was definitely impulsive buying. I'm doing it for the channel, man. I'm doing it for the channel. Man, see, I knew, Manny. I knew if I didn't buy it right then and there, one of you guys were going to go in and buy it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and buy it. Damn. Buy it now for $85. That seems like a good deal to me. I don't know. Wait, what does it cost to get a book graded now? Like $25, $30? So I bought the book for $60, $70. And it's guaranteed a 9.8. I think that's a good buy. We'll see. It wouldn't be the first time I've bought something impulsively and then regretted it later, but I don't think I'm going to regret that one. I think that's going to be good. We'll see what happens. I'll do a follow-up video if I'm right. I'll bring it out and I'll mention this video, June 1st, right? It's an easy date to remember. Flooper says I would have sniped it from you. There you go, man. Sometimes you just can't hesitate, right? You got to just do it. Oh, don't say that, Sean. Yeah, you better not do that. I mean, that's happened to me a couple times where I bought a hot book and all of a sudden the seller's like, oh, I can't find it. Really? You just had a picture of it in this CGC slab. What the hell? What do you mean you can't find it? Yeah, hopefully that doesn't get canceled. I hope so. Just noticed a book you bought a week ago, and I've been debating about it. Which book is that, Wayne? Is it one of the Daredevil books? I'm right some of the time, but sometimes I'm wrong. I think that one I'm going to be right on, though. I think Daredevil's a hot book. It's a great series. The Chip Zdarsky's doing a great job. I think it's one of those books that Sean said, what is he saying here? You said ghost book. Poof, it disappeared. Yeah, there you go. I just made it disappear. Looking forward to the follow-up video. There will be Where Are They Now Justice videos. Yeah, I hope so, man. That'd be cool. Oh, the one I just bought. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I've been talking about that book for a couple weeks at least. So that's the first graded copy I think I've seen for sale. Again, it took me a couple weeks to find a raw copy for like $30. Maybe with shipping it was 35, and that was the only graded book I've seen for sale. So that book seems like a ghost. I don't know. I don't know what the print run on that is. I'm sure Flooper might be able to find out for us what the print run is on that issue, but it seems like it's pretty low. I'm just not seeing too many sales. Sean says, I've been more of a Jim Gordon fan since his portrayal in the Harley Quinn animated show. There you go. I haven't watched that yet. I'll have to catch that. That's probably on the DC Universe, right? On that app. Flooper says, I can guarantee it'll be 3 times what you paid for it in 30 days. I'm not a flipper though, so I'll hold on to that book. I don't flip books too often, to be honest. I've done it, you know, I like everybody. I've done it. I have flipped books, but I try not to do that as much. I try to be a little bit more long-term if I can. So I'm going to end the live stream showing off some comic books that I got in the mail just today. Just picked these up. Oh, Sean says it's on the Sci-Fi channel. Okay, cool. Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate that. Yeah, let me show you these books I got in the mail, guys, and then we'll end the live stream there. So in the mail today, I got, you know, as you guys will well know, that I've been buying a lot of these older Uncanny X-Men books as high grade as I can find them, and I did find a Uncanny X-Men 125, really, really high grade. So I'm one of these guys that, you know, for saving space, I kind of do front and back. So there's my 124, which is not super high grade. There's a couple issues with this comic book. I'd say it's like an 8.0, maybe 8.5, maybe. But this 125 is definitely high grade. 9.6 to 9.8, definitely super high grade. Cool looking book. Direct edition. Again, some of those books from the early 80s, you know, have the line through the UPC code. That came out in 1979. So definitely direct edition is probably a little bit more rare to find in the late 70s than the newsstand. When you get to like 1982, 83, I think direct editions are probably more common than newsstand. But definitely late 70s, definitely 77 for sure. Direct editions are a lot more rare. But I would say by 79, there's still more newsstands out there than direct. So remember, there weren't a lot of comic book shops in 1979. 80s is when you saw a lot of comic book shops come into existence. So these direct editions in the late 70s, I think, are good books to pick up. And they're usually in higher grade too, because remember, these came to comic book shops. They weren't sitting in spinner racks at 7-Elevens where every little, you know, 8-year-old, 10-year-old kid was flipping through it, manhandling it. So you can usually find these in a little bit better grade. So yeah, I'm not saying don't buy newsstand. If you find a high grade newsstand, that might be even more rare because it's, you know, they're harder to find in high grade. But yeah, it's just a cool looking cover. So there's 125. Another book I picked up was X-Men 97. Remember, there was no direct market then, so they all look like this. There's no UPC code. There's no direct versus newsstand. These were all newsstand back then. There were basically no direct market when this came out. So issue 97. This is a really high grade copy. I bought this on an auction. Luckily, the auction ended very late in the night, so there weren't a lot of people trying to buy it. And I picked this up. I think I paid under $100 for this. And it's definitely very fine plus. I would say it's like a 8.5 to 9.0, maybe 9.2. It doesn't, I mean, it's in pretty nice shape. Corners are all pretty sharp. No spine ticks, which if you guys follow my channel, you know how I am about spine ticks. Maybe in that one little corner, there's just a little something there, but keeps it from maybe a 9.4, 9.6. But it's definitely, I would say, yeah, 8.5 to 9.2 range, somewhere in that vicinity. Just a cool looking book, classic cover, Cyclops and Havoc. So I got 94 now, 95, 96, 97. I need 98 through 101. So I'm still on the search for those books in high grade if I can get them. But yeah, definitely can mark this one off the list, 97. Hey, Zach B., thanks for joining the chat, my friend. DD number 2, first print run is 35,000, so that's a pretty healthy run. Still fairly low for a modern book, so I don't know. The second print has got to be a lot lower than that, I would imagine. Yeah, everyone seems to be, the consensus seems to be around 35,000 for the first print of DD number 2. Flooper says, oh, that's for first print. Yeah, I don't know if we know what the second print run is. Yeah, Flooper says print run is unknown. There you go. Who knows, right? Maybe it's lower than Daredevil 610 second print. Who the hell knows? Last book I'm going to show is just a really cool cover. This book sells consistently around 20 to 25, with shipping. I got this really low. I got it shipped and everything for about 18, 19 bucks. I think around 18 bucks shipped, which is pretty good, which is Once and Future number 1. This is the third print, which probably my favorite cover is the third printing of this. There's also the first print is a cool cover, but they have a black and white version, which sells around $50, which is pretty cool as well. I like that one a lot as well, but this one's probably my favorite. It's just red cover, lightning bolt going through the cover. I mean, it's just an awesome looking book. Nice high grade copy. Put it in a Mylar already. I like this Once and Future. I definitely see this being developed. I think it's a great series. I could see these books blowing up at some point. So I don't know, just my prediction. Thank you, Flooper. I appreciate you mentioning that. So there you go, guys. Live on my live stream, I bought a CGC 9.8 second print of Daredevil number 2 for 85 bucks with shipping $100. We'll see what happens. Hopefully in a couple weeks, I'll report back my genius. If not, I don't know. I could probably always sell it for 85 bucks, or I probably could get out of it if I needed to. But yeah, it's just one of those books I'll put in the collection. And I got a nice high grade raw copy and a 9.8 graded. So yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, guys, thanks for joining in on the chat. I'll have another video out on Thursday. I'll probably do one on Wednesday as well. Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I'll be running through the books that are coming out the following Wednesday, which will be June 10th. So on Wednesday, I'll do a show highlighting new comic books that are coming out June 10th. So it gives you guys a little bit of a preview, the books I like, the books I'm targeting. I do that right off of Midtown's website. And then Thursday, on my Thursday show, Whiskey, Cigar, and Comics, just talk about comic book news, maybe anything I got in the mail, just report on stuff that's moving in the comic book market. So look for that on Thursday. Hope you guys have a great evening, and I'll see you soon.